Hello, I'm Jim Morningstar, your guide through this 9-session integrative life teacher training series. Loving your work is what energizes your aliveness, keeps you healthy, interested, and interesting. Savoring and celebrating your success invites in increasingly fulfilling dimensions of existence as you grow and glow. In this class, we will look at what it takes for you to take in acknowledgement from yourself and others, which forms a solid foundation for further growth and success. We will engage in celebration with spirit and each other that expands our capacity for pleasure and joy in our lives. Let's prepare ourselves to get down to some serious celebration with a guided meditation. I'll ask you to get in a comfortable sitting position with your spine relatively straight but not rigid. Let your eyes close and focus on a ball of white, sparkling energy at the base of your spine. As you inhale, bring that ball of energy up your back to the top of your head. Then, without pause, exhale, bringing that ball of white, sparkling energy down the front of your body, returning to the base of your spine. Continue inhaling up the back and exhaling down the front easily and rhythmically, suggesting that as you do, you are once again creating that sacred circle of safety with your breath and intention that cannot be penetrated by any energy not invited in or in alignment with your highest good. This is a powerful intention and will serve you greatly progressing as an integrative life teacher. Now, inside this sanctuary of your breath and intention, imagine a scene in which a gathering of beings have come together to celebrate a graduation. The mood is light and welcoming and somehow feels very inviting and natural to you. The group is gathered in a hall that has been decorated simply and elegantly with a colorful array of flowers and banners, with symbols that seem to resonate with you on a deeper level than your conscious mind. At the end of the room is a raised dais on which there are a number of comfortable chairs arranged in a semicircle, facing the chairs of the audience, which is beginning to take their seats. But somehow it does not feel appropriate for you to sit in one of those chairs. There is a faint smell of incense and sweet commencement ceremony music starts to play from an unknown source and announces the arrival of expected presenters who file up to the front and take their seats on the dais, leaving one chair empty in the center of the semicircle. At that moment, there's a dawning recognition and a jolt of energy that travels up your spine. These seated figures are your circle of guides, some of whom you recognize by sight, and some you recognize by the feelings in your heart of loving safety and acceptance. That they are all there together is a bit startling, but very compelling. You take a deep breath as you are beckoned to come forward and take a seat in the center chair amongst your guides. You proceed even in the face of your personality being a bit intimidated. They are all very gracious and accepting of the qualms your mind and body register, knowing that your spirit has longed for and even anticipated this day for so long. Now, as the music subsides and the audience comes to focus, you also begin to recognize members of the audience, family, friends, teachers, and mentoring figures who at one time or another have touched you and given you support you needed at that time. Again, you take a deep breath to take in the loving presence of this assemblage. Now, one at a time, the guides seated with you begin to transmit a message that touches the mind and heart of everyone there who understands it without words. Each guide relates how you have, in your own unique way, lived your purpose in the past months and years, how the vibration of light that this has generated has influenced countless beings around you, many of which were not in your awareness, and how you have taken in the vibrations of your guides and passed these vibrations on to others naturally and lovingly. As each of your guides transmits their messages, you recognize patterns of thoughts and behaviors that emanate from a larger intention your soul made upon entering this lifetime, which have borne fruit. As you take in the kindness, loving thoughts, and selfless actions that have accumulated without your keeping a mental scorecard, you recognize and accept what they are communicating, that is, the power and effects of your commitment to be on earth and your intention to be a force of good far outweigh the doubts and fears that your brain's default mode network have clung to out of terror that you would recognize the greatness of your spirit and reject the false identity of your puny self. Both you and your guides can now put this in perspective with good humor. At some point, each of them have also crossed that human barrier and stopped clinging to the small self that afforded a temporary sense of false security with others who huddle together in the company of their miseries. It takes courage of owning your identity of an integrative life teacher and student to be willing to stand in the company of your guides and know that you are already transmitting guidance to others in your life by your very being who you are. Again, you take a deep breath and let go of all the old attraction to pretending to be your small self. The impact of how the energy of each guide's focus on your development is now felt to your core. You realize this was not a sacrifice on their part that depleted them, but a commitment of unconditional love that always enhances the giver as well as the receiver. That's not to diminish the joy of this becoming conscious to both parties. In this moment now, there is a conscious recognition between you and each of your guides as a soul contract completed. Indeed, you will continue to work with each in various degrees for various projects. The difference being the mutuality of your relationship is even more recognized, enjoyed, and the dividends multiplied. There is a spontaneous outpouring of joy from all in the audience. Whenever any one of us accepts their larger self, everyone is blessed beyond measure. You are now able to recognize and acknowledge the graduation of each of your classmates, now and in the future, without a glint of jealousy, but with true appreciation for how their courage to accept their larger self as a teacher and student of divine mastery bring more joy and like-spirited companionship in your life. And our planetary playground grows exponentially. Again, take a deep breath and let the energy of the vision into your heart, where it will continue to grow into manifestation day by day. Then, with a few deep and clearing breaths, Bring yourself back with your eyes open, knowing that a commencement is just a beginning of the next chapter of your wondrous existence. Holding you in my heart as fellow travelers on the road home, I send and receive blessings for our circle and all sentient beings. Blessings in light and love.